Hi there, I'm back again. This week we're going to be doing quite a different topic for me, not landscape photography, not forest photography. I know I'm in a forest right now, as you can see. But we're going to be doing a photo shoot at the hangar, which is an airline or an airplane, small airplane facility in Calgary. It was put on by Socality and Canon. And I did some model photography and fashion photography and stuff like that. A real departure, and it was super fun. So come along and see how those turned out and which ones didn't. And there were many of those. And yeah, be fun to dig into. One of the cool things that was at this event was there was lots of Canon representation, and you could rent different cameras from them, and that was pretty cool. But I neglected to do that. I've done that before on different events, and you end up working with a camera that you absolutely are not used to, and you don't get the greatest results. Although my camera's older, I know what I can get out of it most of the time. Anyway, so, but maybe on another occasion I'll borrow a different lens or something like that. Yeah, there was about 8 different models and lots of different shooting experiences inside the hangar. So it all added to the sort of ambience of the day.
Okay, so I'm here back at my desk, and we're going to go dive in a moment into the into Lightroom Classic and into Photoshop. I'll show you the photos that I'm going to work with today with you, and then I'll open them up in Photoshop and we'll do some of those techniques. Today we're going to be looking at removing stuff from the background of your photographs and your images, and the techniques we can use to do that with. I'm talking about spot removal tool. I'm talking about making marquees and then using the remove feature, and then like these are layered, and so they step up in levels of accuracy and work and ease. And then we have the generative AI version. So let's say if you have a complex scene and you want to remove something, and you just make a marquee around that area and type in, remove doorway, or remove this person in the background, and it'll generate versions that you can then choose from. And then finally, there's even a way you can even do it with blending or painting out certain objects. So there's lots of different ways to do it. We're going to be looking at some of those today, and then I'll show you the final results, and I hope that is useful for you. So this first one is a woman in a car. There's some people in the background that I want to get rid of, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so here's the woman in the car in Photoshop. As you can see, let's just make another layer of it, so that we can always go back if we want to, and I'll turn off the bottom layer, or lock it in, sorry. And then, probably open up my brushes, which took a couple minutes to load, sorry about that. And so here she is. I think what we're going to do to start with is, here, let me just zoom in a bit, and you can see this sort of, it's obvious the areas that I want to get rid of are the people in the background, and I think we can probably do a pretty good job of it. For this first one, maybe we'll try a lasso, and just draw it around the figure, and we have a lot of control with the lasso, and you can just refine the edge as much as you want. Cut away areas, use Alt to cut away areas with a marquee that you've laid out, And then we're just going to go up to the the generative tab, the contextual toolbar that they now have in Photoshop, and we hit remove and did a bang up job. Look at that, removed it perfectly. I'm not sure there's any touch up in there that's needed, so pretty happy with that. Next, let's do this other guy. We'll draw around him, and then this one's a bit more complicated because there's a curved edge there, and we've got this the silhouette or the image of the guy goes through the window, so there's a little bit on the other side of the window. Bear with me while I just clean on this edge here, and then I'm going to mark off the other sections. I just hit remove for that one first, and then I'll get to the other one. Yeah, that's okay. I might just blend that out. Let me just see how that looks. Those are looking a bit weird and a bit boxy, but I think they're in the right color tone. So yeah, there's one argument says that I should just redo that removal, but I'm just going to grab my smudge tool and just smudge some of these colors. In the end, that whole background will probably be blurred anyways when I put out sort of a global blur on the whole back area. So it's not a huge deal if I do it this way. So I'm just gonna blend out these areas. I've got it on a pretty light touch on my pen, and I think that's looking right. Now let's try and go into the window. We'll trace around curve of her hair there, and we'll trace around the window frame. There's just a little bit on this side too. So we'll just hit remove again on the text bar, and it's going to do its thing. Let's see what it comes up with here. Yeah, I think that's fine. We could go back one step and actually use the generative command rather than just the remove button. And we'll see if it does a better job. And we'll take one, it'll come up here. And of course it's going to stall out. Now that's even worse. Edit. I don't like that. So let's add the marquee back in, and we'll just refine the edge there, and then I'm gonna just paint because that's a pretty solid color in there that I can just grab my brush, use the Alt key to grab the color, and then I'm just going to paint out that. Oh, I've got linear dodge add on there as a painting option, which I don't want. So we'll take that off and I'll just paint again. And that's gonna be all right, I think. And like I said, you know, in the full image, you're not gonna see that much. I'll just paint out this little bit here too, and you can get really detailed, so you can do a good job. And then, yeah, see, it's going pretty well. Just clears that up a bit. So I've used the generative tool I've used the removal tool with a marquee. I've used the generative tool. I've used the smudge brush, and I've used the paintbrush so far. So those are all different methods you can use to remove stuff. Let's get rid of this woman here. We'll just trace the area that we want, and then I'll go in and refine refine that. Use the Alt key when you're in the lasso mode, and it will remove areas of the marquee that you've drawn. So that helps too. Oh, we've got this line in between that we need to take out, so I'll just do that here. And I think that's got it. Oh, wrong way. And then I think, let's have a look. Yeah, just refine this bottom edge here. Oh, I went the wrong way again. Just do a little bit there. I think that's okay. And then this over here needs a little bit. There's the strap hanging out from the woman's camera bag. I think that's got it. So let's hit remove and see what happens. I think it's going to do an okay job. So yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's fine. And I'll just blend it out like I did on the last one. There's some weirdness in there. But oh, I forgot. I'm going to make a new. I'm going to make a new layer with all those changes locked in. So now it's all on one layer for me to blend this area in. So it just cleans that up a little bit. And I'm just going to clean up on the inside of this window a little bit here too. And I might just paint back in a little imperfection just over here. And then I'll use the smudge tool just to kind of make it an imperfect edge, like it's a little highlight on the window, because there was a little bit of that before, but it went away. You can see it in other areas of the window, so I think it's just that imperfection makes it, realistic. So let's finally come back over here on the left and get rid of this person. Let's see what it's going to do with the remove option. Take about, I don't know, 5-10 seconds. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that. That's done a great job. Because what I want is that wheel to have remained, and because I wanted to imply a hangar or rather a car or vehicle of some sort in the background, and I want that to completely go. So here you can see the before and after of the people. Now they're gone, now they're back. So I think with those techniques, it's done a really good job, and I'm happy with the way that looks now. So I'll probably save that, and I'm going to save this back into. Probably going to save this back into Lightroom, and then I'm going to blur the background. But before I do that, I'm just touching up some of these spots on the cover. There's a few little very minor distraction spots, and I'm just using the spot removal tool in its own right, and just going in and taking out some of that stuff. Like she even has some blemishes on her arm, like a cut or something, so I'll remove that. This little thing over here. It's just a couple of holdovers in the background still, which I'll get. And there's this mark on her arm that I was mentioning. It's still quite a messy area in around this door handle. Let's see if I can clean up some of that with a spot remover. Sometimes I find the spot remover, it's really good for little dots, dust marks, and things like that. For spots, I mean, that's what it's called. But if you have a streak or something, it can start to do weird things, which are not always the best result. But it's doing all right with the sort of things I'm doing here. Again, there's my creaky chair. Okay, and this one is a woman that's standing in front of an airplane, and there's some things on the airplane that are kind of distracting, some loops and tether lines and things like that, because it's obviously a warehoused airplane. It's not a sort of operational one. It's a vintage airplane. So I'm going to get rid of some of that, and then I'm going to use the generative cropping tool in Photoshop to just a bit of her boot is missing, so I'm going to use that tool to make that up, and I'll show you the results of that. So let's have a look at that. This woman was a really great model, but in the background you can see there's some things that are kind of a little bit distracting, like this loop here, and so we'll get rid of that one, and this line that ties to the skid of the landing craft. I mean, it's not a huge big deal, but might as well get rid of it if we can. And then I might do something with this shoe, this generative fill. Photoshop's generative fill is pretty good. So let's open this. Let's go ahead and open this in Photoshop. And yeah, we're gonna use the generative fill to just expand the crop down below so it's a full portrait view. So first of all, let's make another layer here now that it's open, and then we can work on that layer. We'll go into the spot tool. We'll try that first. It sometimes will work, but let's just see what happens here. Now I see let's undo that. Had some weird blending there. So now I'll just draw an outline around it using the good old lasso tool. And then I'm going to just use the contextual toolbar to hit remove. So we'll see how that works. It's just doing its thing. And yeah, and that's worked pretty well. So you can see the before and after. There's no like weird line along the bottom of that aircraft. So that's worked well. Let's merge layers, and we'll just zoom in a bit for you here so you can see a little bit better. And I think I'll probably do the same again and just draw a lasso loosely around this this tether. I don't know what that is, but we don't need it for our purposes. And let's go ahead and use the remove tool again, see how that works. There's kind of layered options, like, yeah, there you go. That's worked really well. You can try the spot treatment. If that doesn't work, you can try the remove tool. And if that doesn't work, you can try the generative prompt to remove stuff. But just for here, these two processes work really nicely. So so I'm happy with that. And now let's just go in and remove some little spots from around, some little distraction spots. And this is an easy task for the spot removal tool to just do. Go figure. And there's not a whole heck of a lot, but I'll just get a few of these little things. Some of them are actually sort of little bolts and things on the aircraft, which I don't really want to get rid of. But if it's too glaring a distraction, then I'll just clean it up a little bit. And then I'm going to there's this little bit in the window here. I use the selection tool to make the line, and I'll just hit remove and do its thing. Yep. See, I'm just happy with that. So these tools are pretty powerful for your projects and your images, and you can use several different methods to get to the same result, or you can mix them up. That's what I tend to do is I'll step it up if the spot tool is really easy, but if that's not working, I'll use the remove feature, and if that's not working, I'll use the generative feature in the contextual toolbar, and if that's not working, sometimes I'll even paint things out manually. So they're all options for you. Oh, there's just a little thing here. Let's grab that. Just a few in here too. Just grab what I'm looking. Probably not even visible to you, but in the final image they might be. So now let's try this generative expand. So you need to make sure that it's set to generative expand rather than crop in the toolbar section above. And then we'll just pull it down to where we think we want it. And we hit generate. As you can see, and it's gonna go ahead. In this case, because it's a generative thing, it will make 3 different versions. And you can see on the right here in the toolbar. And then let's just pick which one we like. That's a bit chunky. That one's a good shape, but I think I like the thinner one. It's more like the other shoe. Yeah, I'm thinking that's the one. So I'll make a new layer with all that, and there's the image. It's looking pretty good. Okay, and this last one is this woman by a car, and she was a really great model, probably the best of the day. But unfortunately, I took these photos with the glaring background of the highlighted windows in the hanger of in the door hanger, the door of the hanger, and it had this really brilliant light coming in, and it kind of sort of affected the image. So I'm going to get rid of some of that and crop down and get rid of some details and do some other things. So let's have a look at how that goes with you. Okay, let's open up this one. You can see it in Lightroom here. Let's go ahead and open it up to edit it in Photoshop, and we can start to address some of the huge issues that I have with the background here. So it's just going to open up, take a few moments. I don't like any of these hanger door windows that you can see. So here's Photoshop. Let's just expand that for you. Let's just drag it over here. And we'll close the brush toolbar. You might need that later, but we'll make a new layer so we have the original always, and we'll work on the new layer. Let's highlight this first window with a marquee and just hit remove, see what it does. I should time it how long this takes. I mean, that's perfect. What more could you ask for? There's the before and the after. And this one's going to be more complicated because it goes right, bleeds over the foreground that we want to keep. So I'm just typing in remove the window and bright glare and bright light. Remove the window and the light and bright glare. Something like that. And let's see how that's going to react. And this is a bit of a bigger guess for it, but oh no, that's not what we want. It's sort of made a door as if there's an added door behind it, so no, we don't want that. We'll get rid of that, delete that layer, and we'll just go in and do this more manually. I'll use the not the selection tool. Let's use the quick selection tool to just make that edge above the car where we want it, and then we'll just refine it using Alt to take out the bits that we don't want it to include. And we'll get some of this underneath part. It's gone up into her hand. Shoot. And we don't need this beige part underneath, only really the door. So I'm just going to refine that here with the lasso. Take out this section. So it's just the door. And we don't need that bit or any of this bit over here. And then we'll just take it around the rest of the doorway. Let's go up and over and down, avoiding her hand. Ooh, I used Alt. I need to add it in, not take it away. Silly me. Okay, and that's good selection. Let's just check in there. That's looking good. So let's hit remove, see what happens. Yeah, that's pretty good. Happy with that. You can just sort of still see an outline of the door, which you probably wouldn't notice, but I kind of know it's there, so it kind of bugs me. So I'm just going to look at her hand. Let's do the before and after. Yeah, it's kind of gone weird with her hand. So you know what? I'm just going to use eraser to remove the effects of that generative result, so that we get her original hand and fingers back, and that'll help tidy that up, because we don't want the model affected at all. I mean, that would be weird to have. That's looking weird on her hand. And I'll just use paint to just I was on a setting. I'll just use paint to just make it really tight up against her finger there. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And then one underneath here on her thumb as well. This needs a little bit of, I went too far. Got rid of some of her nail. Put that back in. Okay, that's doing pretty well. I think just a little bit more. I think that's doing pretty well. I'm just going to touch up the hood of the car as well. There's this dark line as it goes around in our view in perspective. So I'm going to just sort of help that out a little bit there by introducing it back in. Okay, so now I think I'm just going to do some cropping and adjust the image for a composition I like a little bit better, see how that works with the elements within it, and that will help me decide what I need to still remove. Kind of like that, I'm going to make a new layer of that. I'm going to get rid of this window here. Let's see what happens when I draw there. I can just use the square marquee, and let's see what happens. Yeah, that's looking good. This is a bit awkward. Oh yeah, let's just get the reflection of that window, because you always have to remember sometimes when you remove something, you have to remove the evidence, the other evidence of that thing, like a shadow or a reflection. I'm going to just adjust the cropping a little bit more. Let's slide this over here a little bit. I think that's good. But I want to, yeah, let's center. Yeah, that's looking good. And now I think what we'll do is I'll just make a new layer of that all, of course, yeah. I'm just going to get rid of some of these imperfections that are scattered around in the back wall or the back hanger door. And there may be a few others, just little guys. It's kind of laborious, but I think it's worth it in the end to do some of that work. Just helps your eye zoom in on the area that you want, which is, our figure in the front and the foreground in this case. Let's do a bit of work on the car as well. There's a lot of reflection glints in here. Stuff that no one's going to really notice, I'm sure, but it just helps tidy it up a little. Okay, well, I hope you liked some of those techniques. I hope you liked the photos. It was a really fun day. Was sort of out of my a normal range of activities I would do. I'm more sort of landscapey or urban photography or stuff like that. But yeah, it was really fun, and I hope you liked some of the results. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next video, but I think it's probably be autumn. Forest related. Some of the leaves are turning that brilliant golden and red color, so maybe something to do with that. I don't know. We'll see, but I hope to see you back next time. In the meantime, if you can like, share, comment. It's a really new channel. Really low numbers of people are following, so any kind of support really helps. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time, I hope.